Namaste. Welcome back to my channel. When Swami Vivekananda addressed the entire nation of America as brothers and sisters of America, he ignited a flame of unity that transcended borders and beliefs. It was something new, which people never experienced before or heard before. His speech at the Parliament of the World's Religions in 1893 was so sincere and touching that it made the audience clap continuously for 3 minutes. During that time, the crowd showed their admiration and also acknowledged the important messages Vivekananda shared. It was as if his words had unlocked a universal truth, fostering a sense of solidarity among all those present. Vivekananda's speech became an enduring symbol of tolerance, compassion, and the interconnectedness of all people. There was a deep reason behind Swami Vivekananda's ability to address Americans as brothers and sisters. This address wasn't just a diplomatic choice. It stemmed from the deep knowledge he obtained from his spiritual practices, particularly his understanding of Advaita Vedanta. So, in this video, let's dive deep into the life of Swami Vivekananda and uncover the rich wisdom behind his teachings and understanding of yoga. So please feel free to share this video with your loved ones and consider liking and subscribing to our channel. This will help the YouTube algorithm to share this video's reach to a maximum number of people who need to see this message. Swami Vivekananda lived for only 39 years as he attained samadhi during his meditation, but the impact of his teachings and philosophy continues to resonate deeply across the world. Swami Vivekananda, originally called Narendranath Datta, was born on January 12, 1863 on the occasion of Makar Sankranti in Calcutta, India. Even when he was young, he was very smart and curious about life's mysteries. We humans are nothing but a manifested form of the Supreme Consciousness. Whenever you think deeply about your life, you try to access the information from a higher consciousness. These thoughts stem from the cosmic mind present in each one of us. But only a few try to access it deeper. This is what made Vivekananda very special. Since childhood, he was exposed to Western philosophy, Christianity, and science. He had grown up in a religious family but studied several religious books, and his knowledge led him to question the existence of God, and sometimes he believed in agnosticism. But he couldn't completely deny the fact about the supremacy of God. In 1880, he joined Sadharan Brahmo Samaj. Brahmo Samaj recognized one God unlike idol worship. They emphasized reason and rationality over blind faith and rituals. Social reform and equality are central to their teachings, advocating for the upliftment of all individuals regardless of caste or gender. Several questions were running through the mind of Vivekananda during his spiritual crisis. So, Vivekananda's college principal, William Hastie, suggested him to explore the teachings of Sri Ramakrishna Paramahansa to help him navigate his spiritual crisis. One day in November 1881, Narendra went to meet Sri Ramakrishna, who was staying at the Kali temple in Dakshineshwar. He straightaway asked the master a question which he had put to several others but had received no satisfactory answer. "Sir, have you seen God?" Without a moment's hesitation, Sri Ramakrishna replied, "Yes, I have. I see him as clearly as I see you, only in a much intenser sense." He meant that he had a vivid and tangible perception of God's presence that was as real to him as any ordinary perception of a person, perhaps even more intense. Ramakrishna's spiritual practice involved intense devotion, meditation, and various forms of worship aimed at experiencing the divine directly. Through these practices, he had achieved a state of consciousness where he perceived God as a living reality, not as an abstract concept, but as something palpable and immediate. Apart from removing doubts from the mind of young Narendra, Sri Ramakrishna Paramahansa won him over through his pure, unselfish love. Thus began a guru-disciple relationship that is quite unique in the history of spiritual masters. Narendra now became a frequent visitor to Dakshineshwar and, under the guidance of the master, made rapid strides on the spiritual path. During his travels across India, Swami Vivekananda was deeply touched by the severe poverty and backwardness faced by many people. He was first religious leader in India to realize and openly say that the main reason behind India's struggles was the neglect of common people. He believed that the most urgent task was to provide food and basic necessities to the millions who were hungry and in need. He thought they should be taught better ways of farming as well as skills for village industries. Vivekananda understood something crucial about poverty in India that others had missed. After enduring oppression for centuries, the poor had lost confidence in their ability to improve their lives. Vivekananda recognized the pressing needs of the common people, particularly their economic struggles and lack of self-confidence due to centuries of oppression. So, the first step was to help them believe in themselves again. To do this, they needed an uplifting and inspiring message. Swamiji found this message in the idea of the Atma, which is the belief in the inner divinity of every person taught in Vedanta, an ancient Indian philosophy. He noticed that despite their poverty, the masses held on to religion, but they had never been taught the empowering principles of Vedanta or how to use them in their daily lives. Vedanta is the philosophical system that stems from the ancient Indian scriptures known as Vedas. The term Vedanta itself means the end or culmination of the Vedas. It represents the philosophical conclusions and insights derived from these ancient texts. Vedanta encompasses a range of philosophical ideas and schools of thought, but its central focus is on understanding the nature of reality, the self, also known as Atma, and the ultimate reality, also known as Brahman. One of the key principles of Vedanta is the concept of Atma, which refers to the innermost essence or true self of an individual. According to Vedanta, the Atma is identical to Brahma, the ultimate reality or cosmic consciousness. Realizing the Atma as one's true nature is considered the ultimate goal of human life, leading to liberation or moksha from the cycle of birth and death or samsara. Now let's jump into the teachings and understanding of Raj Yoga as explained by Swami Vivekananda. Raj Yoga, often referred to as the royal path or royal yoga, is one of the classical paths of yoga outlined in the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. Swami Vivekananda played a pivotal role in popularizing Raj Yoga in the West, presenting it as a practical and systematic method of spiritual realization. The science of Raj Yoga, in the first place, proposes to give men such a means of observing the internal states, and the instrument is the mind itself. The power of attention of the mind, when properly guided and directed towards the internal world, will analyze the mind and illumine facts for us. This is the only source of knowledge that we have. From our childhood upwards, we have been taught only to pay attention to things external, never to pay attention to things internal, and most of us have nearly lost the faculty of observing the internal mechanism. To turn the mind, as it were, inside, stop it from going outside, and then to concentrate all its powers and throw them upon the mind itself, so that it may know its nature and analyze itself, is very hard work. What is the use of such knowledge? In the first place, knowledge itself is the highest reward of knowledge. And in the second place, there is also utility in it. It will take away our misery. When, by analyzing his mind, a man comes face to face, as it were, with something which is never destroyed, something which is by its nature eternally pure and perfect, he will no more be miserable or unhappy. All misery comes from fear, from unsatisfied desire. Man will find that he never dies, and then he will have no more fear of death. When he knows that he is perfect, he will have no more vain desires. And both these causes being absent, there will be no more misery. There will be perfect bliss, even while in this body. The only way to gain this knowledge is through concentration. Swami Vivekananda's exposition in Raj Yoga draws from the Sankhya philosophy, a foundational concept in Hindu thought, to elucidate the processes of perception and the mind as they relate to the practice of yoga. The Sankhya philosophy provides a structured understanding of how perception operates. Central to the Sankhya perspective is the distinction between the material and the immaterial. While all aspects of perception, including the mind and sensory organs, are considered material, the Purusha, the eternal soul or the consciousness, stands as the sole immaterial entity. The mind's flexibility is highlighted as it can attach itself to different organs, directing attention accordingly. This dynamic nature of the mind influences the focus of perception. Swami Vivekananda illustrates this with the example of intense auditory focus leading to visual neglect. Additionally, the mind possesses a reflexive power, allowing it to introspect and examine its own operations, a crucial ability for practitioners of yoga seeking self-awareness. In the context of yoga practice, understanding the intricacies of perception becomes paramount. Yoga aims to refine perception and heighten awareness, necessitating a deep understanding of how sensations traverse through the layers of the mind. The understanding facilitates the practitioner's ability to turn inward, observe the mind's workings, and attain heightened state of consciousness. Practical preparations are deemed essential for effective yoga practice. Swami Vivekananda emphasizes the importance of dietary regulation, highlighting the impact of food on mental states. Furthermore, he warns against extremes in behavior, advocating for balance in all aspects of life, sleep, work, and diet, as extremes hinder spiritual progress and mastery of the mind. In Advaita Vedanta, the concept of universal brotherhood and sisterhood stems from the fundamental understanding that all beings are manifestations of the same underlying reality, which is often referred to as Brahman or the Absolute. According to Advaita Vedanta, the universe is not composed of separate, distinct entities, but it is rather an interconnected web of existence emanating from the same divine source. Just as different waves arise from and eventually merge back into the ocean, all individuals arise from and are ultimately interconnected with the cosmic consciousness, Brahma. This understanding leads to the realization that at the deepest level of our being, we are all one. The distinctions we perceive between individuals, such as race, nationality, religion, or social status, are superficial and illusory. Beneath these apparent differences lies the essential unity of all existence. So, when Swami Vivekananda addressed the audience as sisters and brothers of America, he was not merely using inclusive language, but was invoking the profound truth of Advaita Vedanta. He was reminding his listeners that beyond the diversity of appearances, there exists a deeper, unifying reality that binds all beings together. In this light, the term brothers and sisters goes beyond mere familial or social connotations. It signifies the recognition of our shared spiritual heritage and interconnectedness. Just as siblings are born from the same parents and share a common lineage, all beings are born from the same cosmic consciousness and share a common spiritual essence. Therefore, by addressing the audience as brothers and sisters, Swami Vivekananda was not just making a rhetorical gesture, but was inviting his listeners to awaken to the profound truth of their inherent unity and interconnectedness, a truth that lies at the heart of Advaita Vedanta. In conclusion, Swami Vivekananda's timeless message resonates with profound wisdom and insight, offering us invaluable lessons for living in harmony and love. His teachings remind us of the fundamental truth of our interconnectedness and shared spiritual essence as elucidated in Advaita Vedanta. By following Vivekananda's teachings, we are asked to embrace peace, understanding, and working together. This means treating everyone with respect and accepting them for who they are. If we live by these values, we can make a world where there is no war or violence and peace is everywhere. Let's listen to Vivekananda's message and realize that we are all connected by something sacred. By doing this, we can create a future where love wins over fear and everywhere is filled with harmony. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to share this message with your family and friends. Stay safe, stay sattvic.